Ready? All right. Today's Wednesday, August the 15th, 2018. It is 11:12 in the morning, and we are opening up our meeting for the City of Laredo Blue Ribbon Committee for People with Disabilities. So to begin, we have a quorum. Call the meeting to order. Now we're going to review and approve minutes of July 18th, 2018. Did everybody get a copy?
Madam Chair, Jeanette, Ms. Ramos, did they email them to everyone? We don't have hard copies. Did everybody get them?
Yes.
Ms. Gutierrez, did you have a comment?
No, I was going to ask for the copy. You just clarified me. Thank you so much.
All right, so did everybody get a chance to review?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Ceci, you reviewed them?
Ms. Gutierrez.
Did you have a chance to review the meetings while I'm
Yes, no, I did not, but I know that I'll go through them and then I can review them afterwards.
Okay.
Mr. Hammer Bassett just walked in. The question we're considering, Mr. Bassett, is if everybody got the minutes for the last meeting and get a chance to review them. Do we have any corrections or comments, additions, anything to the meeting notes from last time? No? All right, so can they stand then as approved as written? May I have a first and second?
Yes.
I agree.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments today?
Madam Chair, no one has signed up for public comment.
All right. The next item is discussion and possible action on next steps for A, public service announcements to hire persons with disabilities. Mr. Gonzalez, I know that we discussed last week in an informal way the program that has started and is in its third year, I believe, with the Department of Health here in Laredo, the summer program for hiring people with disabilities and how well that program has gone. Would you tell us a little bit more about that? I know that we looked at it and found it to be very successful, and we're hoping we could do a public service announcement to showcase the great work that has taken place.
Well, Madam Chair, I think the Blue Ribbon Committee has done a great job over the last 6 years.
Yes, sir.
So you all have to be congratulated, and you did develop a PSA on accessible parking, which we played it on in different ways, and we've had press conference. At the suggestion of the chair and vice chair, we want to highlight hiring people with disabilities. Several businesses have been doing great things. One of them is the health department for the city of Laredo. We've been participating for 2 years now in the Earn and Learn program with workforce in placing persons with disabilities here to get that job experience. And so at the chair, vice chair's suggestion was to do a PSA and with a testimonial and the staff seeing that the contributions, and I can tell you in one, because we've had these persons in different divisions. One of them is in our lab, and we've had two persons because it's been 2 years, and they've done an excellent job. And I can tell you that for a PSA, we could put our supervisor, who can give you the comments of how the person. She's had great experience with the two, but one was from the get-go.
Excellent.
Did the job, little training, and did great. The other one was like any employee, shy at the beginning and wasn't sure, but with this is what this is for, the training. So after 2 weeks, this person now totally independent and is contributing to helping us with our lab services in this case. So two good examples, and so yes, we could do
And just two comments real quick, sir, to add to yours. I like the way that you said, just like anybody else, some people need a little bit more review. That's with disability or without.
Right.
That's just how it is. So I'm happy to hear that. Then another thing I remember, you mentioned we might already have some video on LCC?
What happened, Workforce wanted to document another earn and learn young man who had been trained in data security. Did an excellent job. Now, his was with our IT, or information technology section, who also did a great job, and they came and did a video. So right now, our staff are trying to get a copy of that, and then now we can work with the city's public access to develop a PSA, if that's what the Blue Ribbon Committee
Here, I can already
wishes.
see it, where maybe one person who worked with one of these outstanding people can be interviewed, and they can talk about it a little bit, then someone else, and maybe some footing of them actually doing the job. I think would be a beautiful PSA, and maybe encourage the rest of the community to be more amicable and open to hiring people with disabilities. After all, we're looking at abilities, not disabilities.
Right.
So,
Well, at the request of the chair and vice chair, we certainly are willing to one, get the video, because it's already there,
Great.
and then to promote it, certainly to the committee members, to the schools, to your organizations, but to also, the chamber has us on the agenda for the next available breakfast.
see, and wouldn't it be great to be able to use that video?
Yes.
Do you think
Yes.
maybe we could have it ready to go? It would be perfect, because it's local evidence of success.
Yeah.
Well, we'll inform you as soon as we get the videos, and so we'll share it with you so you all can see it, because Workforce already did one video, and if it's something that we want to improve or
Do we-
want to do a second,
Do we need someone to move and second them to do the PSA?
Yes, second. I mean, move.
Okay, you moved and I seconded. Great. Welcome, our chair is here. Yay, our fearless leader.
Leader.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm so late.
We've already had some discussion on what we were talking about last week with PSA for employing people with disabilities.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. We've had a move and a second, sir, to do a PSA so that we can use it when we meet with the chamber.
Good morning, sir.
And it says he's participating via technology. She's on conference call.
Hi Ceci,
Hello.
¿cómo estás? How are you?
Good.
Sensitivity training.
Yes, next item is sensitivity training, and I yield to our chair. Is that it?
Thank you. I'm sorry I'm so late. I just wanted to let you all know. I had a meeting that ran a bit longer than I expected, so I'm sorry, but I'm
You're here, yay.
glad to be here. And thank you for starting without me.
Yes, sir.
So the next item we have is sensitivity training. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we have done some sensitivity training for the police department as well as some other entities as well.
School
The
districts.
school districts, and so we are in the process of continuing that training for any other organization, or the ongoing training of some of the same agencies that, for some of their employees that we may not have reached. I know that the police department has three different shifts, and so they had even asked us for an evening shift for a very early morning
What
shift.
happened is we had done, this group had done sensitivity training pretty much for the three during the day, and I think there's a fourth in the evening, and that's the one that we haven't hit yet.
Okay, so it's still ongoing.
That's on.
The next item we have is,
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Sure.
just to go back in the sensitivity,
yes,
and Ms. Morales not here, who's been team leading, I don't know if Ms. San Miguel has an update, or Ms. Gutierrez, but also now that we're very glad to have both school representatives,
Yes.
is there any input or concerns that you have or along sensitivity training as well? Because we have had discussions in the last year with both school district superintendents about assisting with sensitivity. I know you all already have wonderful programs, but also to look at, especially, it was brought up that, during the football games, the athletics, you all have a wonderful section, but sometimes it's the parents who don't don't follow the rules. And so both school districts let us know that at times, then there's complaints from those with people with disabilities because there isn't room. And so we offered, the Blue Ribbon Committee offered to both school districts to work together, but I don't know if it's needed or if you all are handling it.
I know at UISD, we had ours for our staff last year. It was presented
Yes.
and it was very successful. I will speak further up to top leadership to see if they're willing to, one for the administrators or for parents. So I can go ahead and schedule that.
Thank you, honey.
And I believe last year at ISD, we did it for the parents at the parent advisory committee
I
meeting
was
that we
there.
had.
Mhm.
And we had that, and then we can repeat that as well, or try to see what other way we can reach more parents.
That would be something good to just, I guess, to keep those reminders in place, because just recently I went to the orientation for my children, and I understand it was just a sixth grade campus, but the first thing I noticed, I'm driving around trying to find a parking space, and there was some that were open, but again, I look and I'm like, oh, I can't park there, right? And what is the other person, like I'm doing this, the little
Oh, yeah,
rounds,
turn around.
and I'm like, oh, like, some sensitivity training. No, but just, I guess, that constant reminder. And I did want to share some information about the sensitivity training. I believe the city of Laredo has asked us to do a sensitivity training for the hiring managers. And supposedly it's what I read the word required.
Excellent.
So that is coming up in October. It's gonna be for a couple of days, like 2 days.
Good.
So that's, yes, that was a really good thing to hear that it was required. So we're trying to hit the hiring
You're
managers.
doing a good job, Dr. Gonzalez.
No, I have to tell you, Mr. Chair, that, and thank you for Ms. Amiga to bring that up, that at your request, at the Blue Ribbon Committee, the mayor did bring it up at 2 city council meetings ago and brought in HR, the city's HR director, and told them, the city's moving forward, and he did the analogy, we made it a designated for veterans, rightly so. So if there's a veteran, we have to interview. Any other people, we have to interview. So we've highlighted, he said, we should be doing the same thing for people with disabilities. And as Ms. San Miguel just reported, it's now a routine, and so they're gonna be doing sensitivity training as well. They're still debating how do we highlight so we can hire, but it starts with sensitivity training, so the
Yes.
city is now going to do that. Citywide, the police department was doing it, the health department's done it, but now citywide.
We also have some tools available online on our website. There's actual videos from places. I remember there was one that we found, a hotel that hires people with disability. There's a training there,
Yes.
and we put the web link on our web page. There's some resources there, is what I'm trying to say. There's some resources there that you could tap also, or maybe for when we meet with the chamber, could tap those videos as well, but I sure would love to have that local one. That would be so great.
And it goes without saying that Mayor has been very supportive of us in the last several, ever since he's come into his position. And he's been here numerous times, and so
Very grateful.
I'm thankful to him and his support. And the fact that he's not only coming to listen to us, but he's actually implementing some of the items or some of the ideas that we have
Really
stressed
grateful.
upon him
Mhm.
that the city needs to, we would like to engage in. So we're happy for that. One of the questions that I had regarding sensitivity training also had to do with, do we do anything for the students, Jaime? Do you know?
Not United, we did staff.
Years ago, we had that whole inclusion grant that we got, and that was training across school, the whole school
Right.
district. And we even did some training for kids, and we buddied up, general ed with special
Right.
kids to support them in a regular classroom.
But we have
And
right
it's been
now.
years.
Yeah. What we have right now is me in the middle, which is general ed students collaborating with special needs students and working together. And it's like a little club, and that's become very successful.
Meet in the middle?
Meet in the middle.
Do both districts have
I
one?
don't know about
No, we don't.
it's one united.
So meeting in the middle means what?
You meet in the middle, it's general ed and special ed students. And what I can do is, so that you bring a presentation for
So
you
do
all.
do they integrate? Do
They
they
integrate together, it's like a club, they help each other out, it's like a buddy system. in other words.
Okay.
It's like a club after school or?
It's during the day,
Okay.
and when it's like Special Olympics, the Meet in the Middle organizations creates the pep rally and so forth, and they go out and support on the Olympics, bowling, and it's so.
I think last year my daughter was participating in that, and they did also an activity, like an Easter egg hunt.
Yes.
She needed to take, she asked me last year, Mom, I need to take my eggs, because we're gonna be having this activity, so they do activities.
So I think that's critical. You know, one of the things that we have to learn is that the way we deal with people starts from very early on, how we were brought up and how we were educated, and how sensitive we become to issues. And so if we're not enlightened early on, we may go through our entire life without seeing the kind of impact that we have on people. And so it's important that the school district also touch upon the students when they're young and they're developing and they're mastering how to deal with individuals with disabilities. And sometimes I think that we need to do a better job about emphasizing that as well. And so that was my question for the school districts, what kind of sensitivity training were the students were being placed there.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, just so we make sure that we include those on online. Ms. Gutierrez, any comments? Ms. Gutierrez?
She lost the line.
Hello, Ceci, you on? Maybe she has something.
Maybe she's talking.
Ceci, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm not lost yet. I feel lost right now, but I'm not lost.
We just wanted to know if you had any comments so far on the discussion.
Well, I think it's a great initiative for us to take to track individuals hired throughout the city. And I think one of the things that needs to happen is we've always talked about highlighting individuals, and I think the more we do that, the more our community comes aware of the fact that I see it every day, but I mean, those of us that don't get to see it on a daily basis, don't get a chance to see the success stories, or the city doesn't get to see the success stories because they, after a while, lives blur and individuals are not seen as being disabled because they're seen as able individuals. But those success stories need to be brought out if people are willing to basically disclose. It makes a difference for our community. It makes a difference for the next generation. It makes a difference for everyone. You know, my grandchildren will benefit from coming to a city that's more inclusive. The city will benefit from the skills and abilities and dedication that these individuals show at the workforce. So anything that brings growth to the workforce is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Ceci.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on the sensitivity training? The next item we have is the White Cane Day, and so I think that somebody else could speak a whole lot better than I could about regarding that.
Okay, good. Mr. Chairman, good
Yes.
morning. I want to present to you Mr. Uyervides. He's the assistant to the mayor. He's also involved with the White Cane Awareness Day. And maybe he can give an update as to how we're going on.
Yes, good morning, Chairman.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Jose
Welcome.
Diaz. Thank you. Actually, yeah, regarding on behalf of the mayor, I can inform you that the White Cane Awareness Proclamation is already scheduled for Friday, October 19, 9 a.m. on the council chambers, and followed by the walk that Mr. Delgado is organizing together with Workforce Solutions. Mr. Delgado?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, the walk will be that day, October 19th, after the proclamation, and it will start at City Hall
Yes, sir.
down to Jarvis Plaza, which is the suggested place. I have people cooperating, Mr. Vale, right?
Yeah, Councilman
Councilman Vale, he is committed to help sponsor the event. Also, I got contacted by the president of the Lions Club in Laredo, and he told me whatever we needed, he would help us in the event also. And so we're getting response from people, and gladfully I'm saying that because at first I thought it was just a goal that could not be reached. And I'm glad to say it's going to be a reality now.
Yes, sir.
And not only if the White Cane Awareness Day is going to be a reality, but I also feel that the National Federation of the Blind chapter in Laredo is going to be a reality also. And I'm hoping that the president of the NFB will participate on a walk that day also. I'm inviting her. In fact, I'm going next week to Austin for a training, and where I will see the president, and I'll ask her. And I don't know how busy she is, but she said she wants to come to Laredo to ask the chapter of Laredo. And also, I'm having meetings every second Saturday of the month. This past week, a lot of people didn't show up, but I don't get discouraged because a lot of people, had their few, they couldn't go. But Miss Miguel was there, and I appreciate her assistance, and I communicate to her the progress that I feel we're doing, because we are making a lot of progress. Although, like my meetings are small right now, but I feel we're making success events, and because some people are calling me to asking me about my meetings we're having on every second Saturday of the month. And some people can show, and some people don't. But I think eventually we'll be a big enough group that we'll need a bigger venue to have our meetings. So those are the things that are going on. In fact, thank the mayor and Mr. Olivares for helping me out. This past, last week on Monday, I went to a city council meeting. And my main objective was to invite the mayor. I invited city council members, and I invited the public for the walk. And that's when Mr. Vale said that he will help me sponsor the event. Yeah.
So, Mr. Delgado, when is the White Cane Walk scheduled for? Is it
October 19th.
Friday, October 19th.
Yes.
At
And
the council chambers.
right after the proclamation.
Yeah, it starts at 9.
The proclamation is at 9.
Yeah,
okay?
9 to 10, and maybe 10-ish.
10 to noon, I guess.
Start the walk from City Hall to
Hopefully
Jarvis
it'll be
Plaza.
cooler by then.
Yes, yes.
And so it would only be appropriate for all members of the,
To be there to support.
that it's important that we be there.
And we're
Yes.
actually, and it's really good, because I was talking to Mr. Delgado on Saturday, that historically, Division for Blind Services, or previously DARS, we were the ones to go on that
event.
walk. And then, of course, because we had the use of several funds that we could purchase, we were the ones to purchase the shirts, the goodies, because of course individuals are having their breakfast, their waters, and and unfortunately for these 2 years we can no longer do that anymore. But we've also let Mr. Delgado know that just the staff members were gonna be donating at least for like the waters He got the idea from Ms. Macarena, like maybe some pins, and we can also pitch in for that, which again, I think the Lions Club also shared that they
Yes.
would pitch in something. Because again, us under Blind Services, we can't accept donations, but if Mr. Delgado, he's able to get some of that. Now, I don't know if you guys are interested, something that we're planning to do for the staff members, there is an official White Cane Day t-shirt available for purchase, and the order has to go in before, I wanna say it says the second week of, that's when we will purchase our shirts.
What I was going to suggest is, first of all, as the chair just mentioned, we should all be there to support. And the second thing I was going to
Wear your
suggest is wear your shirts. Yes.
The Blue Ribbon Community Church.
Yes, wear your shirts.
Yeah.
Yes, so that we can show support for all that Mr. Delgado is doing. Sir, and I just have to say congratulations
Thank
and a
you.
word of encouragement. I know that it's hard at the beginning when you start anything.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that saying? Mighty oaks from a single acorn grow. So you have to just gain, poquito a poquito, sir, but
Oh, yeah.
you will get there. I know you will. I've seen you.
Yeah.
And you have a great deal of determination for this really great cause. So it's gonna happen.
No, it is.
It's just a matter of time. And you got our support, you know that.
Like I said, I've been getting a lot of support from a lot of people. There's Dr. Cecilia Garza has helped me a lot also. And in fact, she's the one who communicated with me about a young lady named Ms. Lupita Cepeda. And she was the contact who gave me the name of the president of the Lions Club. And the Lions Club president called me last week, and he told me, "What do you need?" He said, "Well, I think we're going to need blindfolds." And he said, "Well, we can supply you that." And what else do you need? Well, and I think we're going to have a meeting probably next week, him and I, to see what other way the Lions Club can help us. Because what I understand, the Lions Club is a great supporter for people with visually impaired problems.
That's right. They're the ones that gather all of those used eyeglasses that people don't use anymore. They're the ones that gather them to.
And I have other plans. I have other plans for next year, but this year my main goal is a White Cane Awareness Day
And you're doing it, sir.
and the NFB coming to Laredo. That is my main goal this year.
Ms. San Miguel, was there something else? I'm sorry I interrupted.
Oh, no. Just the shirt, that's a really good idea for the blue ribbon, but I was just sharing, there is an official White Cane Day t-shirt available. I believe it's $10. And what we're gonna do under Texas Workforce Vocational Rehab is that, of course, each member, if they want to purchase the shirt, we're gonna be wearing that shirt. I believe that the picture is still not available because it is a contest that they have throughout the year, and customers or individuals with a disability submit their drawings, and then a winner gets picked, and that's the image. But I think the color of the shirt is a light blue.
Light blue, right?
I think so. So it is out there. I don't have a specific link available right now, but I can go ahead and forward that to you.
Thank you.
But it is under White Cane Day. And if anybody's interested, that shirt is available. So that was an idea that I shared with Mr. Delgado, that maybe that would be the color of the shirt, or if it's like too weird of a color, maybe just like a white shirt, that everybody can wear.
What Ms. Macarena suggested, a lot of people aren't going to be able to purchase t-shirts. What she suggested to just tell the public what color of shirt is going to be, so they can be more or less uniform, and then just give them the pin. They say, "I walk on White Cane Day," or something like that.
Madam Chair, Mr. Delgado, and Ms. San Miguel, if I may, you did the right thing talking to Ms. Lupita Cepeda. She's the chief of staff for State Representative Tracy King,
Okay.
and used to be with AT&T. We'll be glad to contact representatives, since she's already made contact with you. Maybe they'd like to sponsor some of the t-shirts.
Okay.
The other thing, I want to thank Ms. Sanchez for letting us know that Workforce also has a project to work with people with visually impaired and getting the word out to the doctors of some of the programs that they have. And so we send out to all the ophthalmologists who already treat persons who are visually impaired, especially persons with diabetes who are losing their sight. And so we're gonna invite them. I know Dr. Trevino in particular has a tennis team
Yes.
of all kids who are visually impaired. And so they're doing great work as well. And so we'll be glad to invite the medical community and the ophthalmologists, because Dr. Hoffman, Dr. Trevino, Dr. Safarini, who are all ophthalmologists, they're seeing persons who are visually impaired or totally blind. And so I don't know, Ms. Sanchez, if you wanna, let the committee know about the program you shared with us, where we're telling the medical community about some of the workforce efforts.
Right, well, we're just one of the partners, right, of the many partners whom we've got the resources to get the word out in any initiative or any activities, that our city needs to be aware of. So anything that we can do to help, absolutely, that's what we're there for.
Dr. J, do you think that maybe we can get someone to film, do some video for us on the day that we have the White Cane Walk?
Madam Chair, by already being an official day of the proclamation, city's public access will have to be there, and they'll
That's
film
right.
that. So
And maybe
we'll ask them if they can continue to film the walk as well.
Or at least part of it, because I'm thinking if
Yes.
we could do a clip, then we could add it to our website.
And that would be good because we actually offer our vocational rehabilitation teacher. She has her white canes, which we lend out to the community. So whoever wants to walk under the blindfold and with the white cane, you're able to see that. And then of course we have our staff members guiding those that actually do want to try that experience out. So we're there to assist with that. So it's something really nice to see, to be able to experience that as well.
Yes. I want to add also that Ms. Cepeda sent me an email right after I was last week at the city council meeting, and she said that she will help me in any way she can, and she appreciated my speech when I spoke about inviting the mayor and the public for the walk. And so Ms. Cepeda, she's very involved in this event also.
So then Tracy King will also be invited, yes?
Yes, Madam Chair, we'll make sure Ms. Cepeda, who
Maybe an
is
invitation
staffer.
from the Blue Ribbon Committee? On behalf of the Blue Ribbon Committee, that we'd like her name to.
Well, already by it being an official event,
the city of Laredo will invite.
the city's PIO will invite the officials and the media, but we can do from the Blue Ribbon, especially to Representative Tracy King, Representative Raymond, and Zaparini, if the committee so wishes, we'll be glad to do a
Was
letter.
somebody move in second? To send out the invitation? Becky moved and,
I said,
okay, somebody got a second.
I expect this event to be a really good success.
Beautiful.
Yes.
It's gonna be a big
It's gonna be attracting a lot. I hope to attract a lot of people and to bring awareness. That's my main goal, to bring
You're gonna have
bring
more
awareness.
people calling you and asking you about getting together for the meetings as a
Well,
result of
I have
this.
received calls, but unfortunately, for one reason or another, they don't assist. But I'm very hopeful they will assist eventually.
Shall we move on with this absence? The next item under discussion and possible action is revisiting fees for public transportation or LIFT.
I have another.
Madam Chair, you all have already discussed this, and we submitted recommendations to the mayor, council, and then Metro for them to revisit, and gave them recommendations, special grants, other options that other cities are doing. For whatever reason, and we'll follow up again, things haven't moved forward, but the city's in the budget process again, and so there's two things you can do.
Alright.
My responsibility is to give you guidance. There's two things you can do, or do them both. One is, just like you did last time, is to do an official letter from the committee to the mayor and city council to revisit the fees with options, and again, state the options. There's grants that can offset
It's a
costs.
3-year grant, it has millions of dollars, and I've checked for the population, the demographics for Webb County, and we do meet the criteria. So it's just a matter of making, I guess, the grant writer for the city aware.
Well, we-
Because the data, I had already said in the data that I got for Webb County, so we meet the criteria, so it's just a matter of plugging it in and filling out the form.
Well, we'll do the letter, we'll update the letter that you all did a year ago, that included options, but also to, one of them is there's opportunities to defer, like the grants. But also then you all also suggested, just like many other services, if persons who ride need a certain income, well, don't charge them. And the third was, don't charge people with disabilities a higher fee. So those were the three options you presented last time. We can update the letter again. Tonight is the last day of the 3-day workshop. The members could go and make comment, although there's no formal public comment right now. But when the budget gets presented, which will probably be the second meeting in September, then you could go make a formal comment on it. But, Mr. Chair, you all wanted to go on record again, so the first recommendation is to resend a
The
formal letter.
And it's not too late for us to
No, this is the perfect time.
resubmit all of the data, including the name of the grant, the website, and then
No.
the demographics and all that.
This is the perfect time.
Great.
Can I add something, Mr.
Yes.
Gonzalez? Yes, the bus service, in my opinion, is not getting any better. In fact, last year when they raised the price hike, the service was the same, I mean, it hasn't improved. And now, as of today, this week, they have reduced 2 buses from the service. So now the people are getting late. And not only that, in my experience, if you don't call a week before, and you don't call before 9, chances are you're not gonna get what you want, schedule-wise. Today, I experienced, the driver was coming with me, and he has like a laptop, or I don't know what kind of, for information day, and I heard 3 beeps on that machine. And that driver told me, "Look, mira, Roberto, esa es una llamada que tengo que ir a ver más clientes, porque now they're overworking the drivers, schedule-wise. They're pressuring the driver to go here, go there, because they have 2 bus less per day." Now, a lot of people have a schedule and have to be at a certain time there. Let's say for a dialysis, whatever, doctor's appointment. And now what's going to happen? A lot of these persons who need this service are going to be late for their appointment. And I don't think it's fair, because, like I said, if they're going to raise price, they're going to get a price hike. I expect better service, and we're not getting it. And I hope that they understand that. And by reducing, I guess they're reducing 2 buses because of the budget. I don't know. I don't know their reason for doing it. I don't know their reasoning. But I really feel a lot of people are getting affected by this.
Of course.
And what happening that they're doing this to the most vulnerable population.
Members of the community.
Yeah, the most vulnerable. And I think they should reconsider. I think they should see how they can help us in this matter. Because I'm part of the population, I'm disabled also.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to see if they can reconsider something, do something to better the service at
Yes,
least.
sir.
If they don't want to, they don't want to change the price. I just say better the service. That's all I'm asking now.
But, Mr. Chair, then, again, we'll revise the letter that you all had sent a year ago. I don't know if the chair is available to go tonight, but there's still time during the formal presentation at the formal city council meeting. But by then, they've already, should have received the letter.
So would be the form of a follow-up to the letter.
So we'll work with the letter to get it out for your signature and for the committee's review. And then we would encourage you to go to the public comment period when the budget is presented. The second thing is we did a year ago, and maybe at the will of the committee, is again, we met, remember, with the Metro director
Yes, we did.
and her supervisors at Metro, is to ask for another. And she was very willing to meet with her staff. Y'all remember, we met over there?
Yes, we
We met over there, so maybe meet again. It will be up to you.
Mr. Chair?
Doctor, you said that we could meet in September?
Well,
What is your suggestion? What do you recommend?
if you or the vice chair could make a comment today, you would have to be recognized, the mayor's giving persons who may want to make a comment, and we'll let them know a minute, because there's no formal public.
Well,
But-
it wouldn't be a match, it
definitely-
would just be, please reconsider the price you're using for Lyft. period.
No, and you can, but then probably the second meeting in September, I'm not sure that it'll be ready the first meeting, because the agenda's already out, but the second meeting, it'll be formally presented, and so it's a public hearing and introductory ordinance, and so there has to be a formal public comment period.
Would you rather do
And
that?
so you'll have that option there. Mine is the council and mayor would have already received your letter by then, before the budget is finally adopted.
Yeah, I think so, because I think that if I just show up, I understand that we're asking them to reconsider the letter that was sent to them, that they may have received more than a year ago, and they may not.
Even remember.
Yes.
See something next.
And so maybe we could reissue the letter, and then we could
Follow up.
sign up or be placed on the agenda for the second weekend in September.
Mhm.
And does that mean that those of us who could attend? could
I can
be
attend,
present?
I wanna go.
And I'm specifically concerned, I'm concerned about Mr. Delgado being there as well,
Okay.
because I think that he's critical, crucial to that.
Well, again, you've got the administrative assistant to the mayor right now, Mr. Ayavita, so he'll convey that, but we'll formally ask that you will make a comment. And if it's not the second meeting in September, it'll be the first in October. We'll know, we'll let you know. And that way you can go get on the agenda,
Yes.
or if not, under the mayor's item
Mhm.
as well. So there's two ways to do it. And he supported. Mr. Judge, you said, he's very, very sensitive
Has been.
to what the committee wants, and
Yes.
making sure that we do address the needs of people with disabilities.
And I do wanna add that, Dr. Mayor Science is very supportive of us, and I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've had a number of times that he's come here
Yeah, he
without
should come
without being
works with
announced. And so, he's.
I invite him every time.
He surprises us on occasion with his presence, and so we welcome that. At least we know that we're just not black, no one's listening, but no, he's, Mayor Science has always been very supportive from the very beginning.
Yes, he has.
We,
So true.
and so we appreciate the fact that he takes the time to be here and listen to what our concerns are. So I guess we'd rather do that. Dr. Gonzalez, we'd rather just resubmit the letter, because hopefully that will bring the issue, remind them of the issue more at hand. Something we may have sent more than a year ago, and some of the council may not even be aware or recall. And then we could get on their agenda for the second week, and hopefully we'll
In
also,
September or first week of October, whichever.
those of us who can make every effort to be present.
Where
Okay. Yes.
And so during that, if we were placed on the agenda, are we limited to a number of minutes?
Mr. Chair, if we'll ask him which way he wants to go. If you're under his item, there's no time limit, it's what he allows. If you're under the public comment period, it's 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
That's cool, that's good. Okay.
So we'll, unless the committee has a preference, but we'll ask the mayor and certainly Mr. Ramirez is here, he'll relay the message as well too.
God
Bless you.
Thank you.
Salud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Delgado needs more than 3 minutes.
Well, and let me clarify, Mr. Chair, it is 3 minutes, but if you have multiple persons who speak, as long as it's
We can
a
give them more
different,
time. We can give them
or
more
you can
time.
give them your time, yes.
Or sign up,
Okay.
3 or 4 persons and combine
The time limit.
but in that case, would be preferable to be in an item for mayors to get more relaxed on it.
To go as an item under him, and
Okay.
that way there's no time limit and the whole committee, who's ever there can present.
Is that our preference, committee?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Move in second.
And preferably under the mayor's agenda.
Mayor.
Okay.
Please, thank you. Okay. So, under the public transportation fees, do we have any further discussion besides what we've just agreed upon in the city council?
The only thing I would request is that we make sure that we have the web links to, number one, the source for the funding,
Okay,
and number two, the population demographics that shows that we qualify. Because that'll make it easier for them to fill out the grant.
do we provide that information last
Yes, I
time?
did.
Do you have a copy of it by any chance?
Yes, I sent it to you.
I think Ms. Gutierrez also had some information about that.
Oh, she had a sample of something
Right.
that was done in San Antonio, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so before then, we need to round up all of that documentation. Correct, I don't see anything. And so, Dr. Gonzalez, you would just send the letter right now, correct? Not all this other data that we have.
Because of the urgency, send the letter, and we'll dig up, Mr. Chair, look at the letter that was sent before that already had recommendations. And then do a follow-up if we need to with more details.
Okay.
Because we also gave it to El Metro.
I have a question, Dr. Gonzalez. Was the reduction of 2 buses, or reduction in Metro, was that approved by the city council also, or they did it on their own? How did that go about?
Madam, Mr. Chair, Mr. Delgado, I would have to find out. I'm not aware that they did, but sometimes departments do take actions based on operational needs. And then sometimes, especially for funding, they need to go to council for approval. We'll find out.
Okay.
I wasn't aware because they're also expanding. The Metro's doing some great things in promoting a new bus line. They're adding bicycle rides to their buses with a big campaign of walk, bike, and ride. So walk to or ride your bike to the bus stop, then put your bike on the bike rack on the bus and take the bus. And so we've been building that partnership with traffic and health and the Metro, supported by the City Council and the Mayor, to make more public transportation accessible at the same time. But that's your regular buses.
Right.
And so there's a lot of momentum, and they're updating the beautiful buses. I saw a new bus in this campaign, the walk, bike, and ride campaign.
Okay.
But in Metro is a different section of that, and so the paratransit, and so we'll ask to find out and report to you all if they reduced it by 2 buses. I'm not aware of this.
Well, it is reduced, yeah, they did reduce it, but like I said, I don't know if it was approved or not, that's what I'm asking.
We'll find out.
Thank you all. Next item is number 5, and that's discussion possible action on bylaws and city charter adherence. Last time that we met, there was a discussion regarding the membership, and this all has to do with the city charter, recent their ordinances and having to do with members. In order for you to remain in good standing, you cannot be absent more than 3 times in any given year, regardless of whether it's excused or not excused. If not, you need to be replaced, or we need to be replaced. And there was, the monthly meetings for example, the monthly meeting of all committees must take place regardless, all right? There's an item to that, attachment to that, having to do with all meetings being videotaped, okay? And so there was a number of items there having to do with location as well, where we had to have these meetings as well. One of the things that was discussed last month, during one of the, during the last meeting that we held, I don't recall who it was, but some of the members may have expressed that regarding the membership and whether the membership needed to be rotated in a sense of us stepping down, because some of us have been here for 5 years or more. And so there was a discussion about whether whether we should be rotated out, okay? And I feel like we're being put out to pastures. But anyway, but in a good sense, okay, we would remain on as advisors to the group, okay? And so I did meet with the vice chair. I did meet with Dr. Gonzalez as well as with Erica last week regarding that, because apparently the committee membership, the subcommittee and rules committee is comprised of Dr. Gonzalez, the chair, and the vice chair. I had no clue until the vice chair notified me of that. So we went through the members, through the ordinance. And one of the things that was discussed in addressing the idea of rotating the staff here, okay, or rotating the membership, is that we are appointed by the mayor. Okay, we're not appointed by the city council. Other committees are assigned, they're designated or placed on those committees by the individual council member of every area or every region. And so we are not, we're placed here by, where we serve at the pleasure of the mayor. And so the mayor can pretty much make a decision when he wants to make a change, okay? Historically speaking, it appears as though the mayor's comfortable with our being present, okay, and the work that we've done. And so there was a discussion last time about limited terms, okay, maybe the terms that we serve. And one of the things that we concluded was, because we serve at the pleasure of the mayor, it's his decision how long we serve, okay? Most mayors, if not all mayors, have a 4-year term. And so in the case in point having to do with Mayor Sines, he's here for 4 years. I know he's up for re-election in the next year and a half or something like that.
November?
Okay.
November.
Okay, so it's November, so.
Already?
So,
Wow, that was fast.
so needless to say that the mayor is the one who has the, I guess,
Authority.
control or authority and authorizes our being here. And so,
Even the committee may decide we don't need
To disband it.
Yes.
but in the case of the mayor, I think that our proposal is that since we serve at the pleasure of the mayor, and he's there for 4 years, then I guess we would all serve for 4 years, unless he elects to replace one of us or one of the members prior to that due to lack of being present or for whatever reason that may be, okay? Because apparently it's not even up to him, it's based on the ordinance of the lack of attendance is sufficient enough to call for a member's removal. And so that's pretty much set in stone from what I understand.
Yes.
Okay, and we did validate or verify that with the legal department, and they did support that pretty much that stands. That's an ordinance that will stand and will be enforced. And so the mayor, I don't know if the mayor could even override that, but for the moment, we don't want to challenge that. We don't want to see how that goes. But I guess the question then comes about as to whether what happens with the mayor once he gets, if he gets reelected, that's great, and if he doesn't, that's sad for us. But you know, there's a number of issues that surface with that. He gets reelected. 4 more years, he can pretty much say the committee stays as it is, and I feel comfortable with it. Okay, that's up to him. Some other mayor comes in, the mayor may decide or not to keep us or disband the committee, and that's up to them. I don't think any incoming mayor would. It would be a very. I think the most intelligent thing for them would be for them to keep the committee because it serves a purpose for a very specialized population of the city.
Important group of people.
And so I don't think any mayor would disband it, okay?
If I could add along that train of thought, we were discussing the possibility of people being able to participate through technology. What was the decision on that, Dr. G?
Mr. Chair and Madam Vice Chair, two quick things. One, absolutely correct. Mr. Chair, of the overview, you all serve at the will of the mayor, and so it's 4-year intervals. And you're right, you've served under 2 different mayors. So I agree with that. I don't think a mayor will in the future disband the blue ribbon. He may change members. So right now you all serve at 4-year intervals. You all may decide to alternate, that's up to you, and you have the flexibility to build it in, but the mayor is comfortable with the committee and the mayor is comfortable with you. He has asked in the past if you want to change members or rotate. He wants to hear from you, your recommendations. Quorum is an issue, and so one of the things that this time the charter revision did was to be very adamant, like you said, Mr. Chair, that you need to be here, you can only miss so many, and you need to have monthly meetings, and they're videotaped. All of that you all comply with. To help with the quorum, we asked for clarification from legal about meeting by some participating on a conference call or maybe video, and initially we had gotten mixed, but we checked both with the Attorney General of the state, and then I've issued from our city attorney, from Mr. Rosas, he's the assistant city attorney, where he confirmed that we can meet quorum. Initially, it should be an emergency. For an emergency, everybody can't meet, so the people could meet by phone or by video, or because it's difficult to meet together. And so he cited the 3, or you're an advisory. The best one for you all, you are an official advisory committee to the mayor, so you could have people both on the conference call or video. You must have as many persons physically at the site to hold the official meeting and to be able to hold public comment.
So is there criteria as to the number of physical bodies that need to be present?
At this point, the city attorney said, no, you can have quorum with half of the people, there is no number, so we asked them specifically, said, no, you could have the majority on the phone, but you must have at least one of the officers physically at the meeting, being taped and having public comment. And like today, you had the media, you didn't have public comment, but you had the media here. It's open. It's published, that's why as you see the agenda, it's signed by the city secretary. So every time we post the meeting, it's posted to the public, the media knows, the public knows, and sometimes we have had public comment, and this is not the first time the media is here. And so I think it's a very positive that our legal feels comfortable that you can have, he didn't say a number, but that you can have people either video or on conference call like Ms. Gutierrez says today. The only thing he was adamant about, you must have members physically present, to be videotaped, that there was a meeting, and to have public comment. So I think you're flexible, I think you're fine. Today, the majority's here, and you have one member on conference call and one member absent.
Sir, I'm sorry, I have a question. What does it mean one of the officers must be present? What
Well,
is
you
it?
have the chair, vice chair, and the secretary, so you have 3 officers.
So one of the 3 of us must be present.
Yes.
But it would look very odd to have a videotape and aired, and I'm the only one here.
That's what I was imagining.
So,
One thing you can depend on, I'll be here.
And we also asked our, Ms. Tijerina, who's an intern with the department here, to look up at the state level. Anything different, Andrea, that you dug up?
No, that's pretty much the information in the handbook for open meetings. Great.
Thank you.
So you have some flexibility.
well, it's good to know that we at least can make quorum via phone.
And then the other thing would be the rotation, because when we met in our smaller group, the membership group, some people, and I don't know who they were, mentioned that they might be interested in rotating. And to me, most of my experience has been school-based, so I guess to me what it would mean is if I were with UISD or LISD, I've been with both, but I guess it would be, I've already served a whole year and I would like to rotate with, let's say,
And someone else from the same
Larita,
school district, right?
somebody from the school district, then how would I do that? Would I write a formal letter saying I hereby request that I be rotated for the next year?
They could just express it to you, and then we relay it to the mayor. Again, the mayor is at 4-year intervals, so once he names you and you all take an oath, and all of you have done that, you're guaranteed 4 years. Then, if he makes it again, then he would say, I want to rotate or not, and he's already expressed he wants to keep you. So it would be up to you. You all started that discussion that maybe it's healthy to rotate. I know last time, Ms. Morales was it's in the minutes that she was very adamant that we should, that's healthy. I think Ms. Gutierrez, you had some comments too, as well. Ms. San Miguel was present at that meeting too. I think it was a positive meeting you all had, that just to make things better. And Dr. Rudin, you said something that doesn't matter if maybe you step down to rotate, but the committee also welcomes you to provide advisory and technical. Other commissions and boards have technical support.
Advisors.
The Drug and Alcohol Commission, that's a commission, so each council member designates and the mayor 1 member, so there's 9 members. But they have voted officially to, at every one of their meetings, to invite the stakeholders who have input. They don't have vote, but they have input, and that's equally as important. They felt it was important for the organizations and the people who provide drug and alcohol treatment, prevention, rehabilitation, to be there to advise them. And so every time we have a meeting with a drug and alcohol, all of the stakeholders in town or regionally are invited, and most of them have been coming. The same thing could be here, because I think the schools are important, workforce is important, the blind section is important, and so if one day you decide to rotate, doesn't mean you don't continue to come. And that would be something that the committee develops and puts it official, so that way it has an official stamp. But that's up to you. Right now, you serve at the will of the mayor, and the mayor wants you to continue. And he has served 4 years, and he may serve another 4 years. You served 4 years under Mayor Salinas. Mayor Sines kept you, he's named some of you during his tenure, but he's happy with you. And again, he has relayed to me, to you, that you all tell him how you want to run this. You all tell him the membership. If you want to recommend someone, you all tell him. The issue is you do have to comply with quorum.
I guess ultimately, you're appointed for 4 years, and I think that's a privilege that you've been selected. You've
Yes.
remained here. If you so select to step down for whatever reasons those may be, professional, personal, whatever, that's your choice. And so we just need to bring that to light to the mayor so he can make a decision as to who else he wants to appoint. And again, you may have somebody within your scope that you feel that is knowledgeable sufficiently enough to represent the school districts with a special population. So your recommendation, I'm sure that the mayor would look at your recommendation as well. And so that's something that we could do if that's what you all feel compelled to do, that you need to step down at one point or another.
Ms. Gutierrez, Mr. Chair, you had comments last time. Any other comments that you may have on this matter?
I think that it's a great idea that we've been selected. I think it's a great idea that we mentor other individuals also to bring them in to the committee. Because I've been mentored throughout my life. I've had great people that I've looked up to and everything, and they've given me an opportunity, sometimes even step down from where they're at, so that I can thrive and contribute. And I think as we evolve, we can serve in that capacity where we become advisors to others. And advisors to committee, we might not be voting members, but we might be advisors with like-minded people who have a desire to move forward and to make a difference. Because unlike most things that we do in life, we are not perpetual. And one of these days we will not be here. And when we're not here, I would love to say, and my favorite phrase for people, those that don't know that, I'm going to live forever, because I believe that my knowledge does not belong to me, it belongs to the community. And it doesn't mean that I want to leave. I love what I do. Obviously I'm on the road, even I'm out March 13, and still talking about wanting to be there. But at the same time, I think that when we stay on too long, sometimes we become too comfortable, and I'm an outside of the box thinker, and so I'm thinking, why not? In time, with the right procedures and the right guidelines, I think it would be a good idea to remain on, but to bring in new minds and new ideas into the committee, so that we're a progressive, moving forward committee.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you.
One of the things that I think we kind of follow the same kinds of things that the other committee's doing is whenever we discuss something that's going to affect, let's say, since we talked about sensitivity training with the police department, we invited them to come in. When we look at the ratio for accessibility parking, we have a noted. So I think we've been pretty flexible about, asking people to come in and advise us when we're not sure about something.
You have.
You've facilitated that for us. We're grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up to us. I think that in everything there's advantages and disadvantages to one thing or another. Okay. Some of us have spent an entire lifetime doing what we do. Okay, and so that doesn't mean that. I pretty much believe that the school district has, and its employees have continued progressing through new technology and new evaluations and new studies and about what are the latest techniques to teach and how to learn, how people learn, okay, people with disabilities. And so you bring that to the forefront. Those are the kinds of advantages that we have by having such a specialized group in our presence and benefiting from that knowledge. You know, some of you have other disciplines that you look at or that you work with on a daily basis, and that's things such as the lack of sight, okay, and mental health, as well as intellectual and developmental disabilities, certain things that I don't think the general population sometimes understands. Okay, one of the reasons why we have sensitivity training is because the general population sometimes is not aware about the kinds of challenges and kinds of contributions that individuals with disabilities can actually provide. And so I think that this committee and we have a certain mission, and the mission is yes to bring information to the mayor, but our job is primarily to advocate and promote and push that the city also be understanding and sensitive to what those needs are.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I understand that there are ideas that other individuals can bring forth, but I think that we also take a look at, I would hate to lose some of you with the vast amounts of years of experience that you may have.
Agreed.
Okay, because I don't know where I would get that from. Okay, one of the reasons why you're here is because at one point or another, the mayor felt compelled that you were the best, okay, that the city had to offer, okay, in your area, in your realm of specialty. And so I would hate to jeopardize that, but I also understand that people need to move on, and sometimes everything in our life is not perfect sometimes, and things get in the way, and it's just a big challenge, and sometimes this is not going to be your priority. And so I understand that, and I think that's the good time when you need to step down, and probably say, well, maybe not me, but somebody very close to me that I've mentored or who mentored me can actually serve now, okay, and that's fine. But I do believe that one of the reasons why you all are here is I don't think I've been hanging out for the last 5 years with a bunch of rookies, okay? You guys are specialized in what you do, and you come with a lot of experience and a lot of highly recommended, and that's how come the mayor placed you here. And so that's my thoughts, which whatever they may be. But I think that everything goes in hand. Those are things that you need to weigh both individually, and we have to weigh individually and again together collectively as a group. What is it that we want to do? And so I do think that the mayor is here for 4 years. He places us here, and in 4 years he makes a decision whether he wants us to continue or not. Mm-hmm. And at that time, you can also voice, I don't want to continue with the way I'm at, not that to the degree of responsibility. I want to be an advisor, or I want to do something else, I want to step down. That's ultimately up to you. Ms. Vice Chair?
I'm just thinking, I just hope everybody is okay with staying on at least through the election. Well, actually through January, right? We still have Mayor Pete through January, right?
Yeah, they're starting in January.
And then I guess at that time, if anyone wants to write a letter, they could.
Okay. Any other issues that we discussed?
I believe that's what we have. Membership, tenure, announcements is the next one. If anyone has an announcement, we did the Friday, October 19th.
White cane.
Yes, we did that. And I was going to ask if we had any kind of publicity, but Dr. Gonzalez already explained it's all taken care of.
Yeah, when the proclamation is announced, it's through the Public Information Office.
Sunday morning.
And we invite media and other officials, city officials.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, we can invite also, as you mentioned, to the state representatives. And that way we can have the coverage from media and also invite them right there to be
And I
involved.
know you probably still have a lot of public access, so if I could ask you to maybe get us a little edited clip of it so that we could make it available
Yeah,
on our
once
on our website.
Sure. Once they produce it, then we can request.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But we're gonna have a mini parade.
That's
I'm
impressive.
sorry.
Well done.
And I guess just adding in then into the announcements, tying into your meetings, Mr. Delgado.
Good
Then
idea.
I just wanted to share then his next meeting would be on the 8th, Saturday, September the 8th.
Yes.
Is it too cold?
Dr. Gonzalez already told me that once my group gets large enough, we can probably have our meetings here at the clinic on Saturday, right, Dr. Gonzalez?
Beautiful.
Yes.
So, but right now, as it is, we're having our meetings at a place called the Flip Flop. It's located on 3910 East Delmore. It's a cafe, yes, sir. For now, that's where we're having it.
Can I share an announcement?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to share an announcement. We are going to be holding the Night to Shine once again on February the 8th. So if anyone wants to save the date, we're going to be looking for volunteers for that event. And so we're hoping to secure a bigger location this time and hopefully start promoting the event. Probably, I would say, sometime in the next month or so. And we're wanting to recruit probably about a little bit over 400 individuals. Last year we had 142. But for those of you that are interested in being part of that event, please save the date. It is official. February the 8th, we cannot move that date. But it'll be a great opportunity to celebrate our population.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you.
I've got an announcement, if I may. So, the state is getting very savvy regarding, the transition from TWC to vocational rehabilitation, putting us all under the same umbrella. And with that, we have acquired a position for a disability navigator. So this individual's role is solely to connect, collaborate, partner, build on those partnerships, what resources are out there. We were at a training up in Austin, and it was a really, really good training. We're 28 workforce boards, and some, depending on the board size, have gotten 2. So we've gotten 1, and her name is Patricia Rincon. So in her role, right, the program is a statewide strategy to improve and increase services to students with disabilities. The age is 14 to 22, so that's the focus there. We're looking for students' educational programs, if it's secondary education, non-traditional or alternative secondary education, post-secondary education, other recognized educational programs. This is to improve the access to employment and training services and increase employment opportunities for job seekers with disabilities. So I want to put that out there. I know that we're going to be very active in the community. We'll probably build a committee or a subcommittee for just the disability navigator. She'll be at the schools. She'll be working very closely with VR. So you all will meet her down the road, but I did want to bring that to the table and let you know that we're very adamant and believe in the need for, advocating for individuals with special needs. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I heard about that position. Someone told me about that position.
So do we have anything like that going on now? Such as-
Yes, I mean, we're always very, we've got WIOA, anybody who would qualify between the ages of 18 and 24. And we also have VR coming to the center since the transition, so they're physically there. So if somebody comes in and states they're needing, special assistance, due to this disability, we send them over with them. They're the specialists, they're trained, and they assist these individuals. So this role is going to be to find the right partner and where are we gonna refer this individual to. We're gonna have got that safety net more more so is what we're going to do
we
with
still,
that.
we talked about the school districts, do we still partner with y'all for the ITPs, especially for graduating juniors and seniors within special education? Do y'all still invite the counselors or rehabilitation counselors for the
Yes.
ITP meetings?
Yes, for the transition
It's
plan.
the transition.
Mhm.
And those are counselors for the, and actually they, for this past year, actually, they've been trying to, example, since, for blind services, we had a change in supervisors, I've noticed that we're more, like our supervisor managers, and just because of WIO as well, they're more adamant about having those transition counselors
That's so
go, like, and they've been going and knocking on doors. Of course, for some schools it's a little bit different, but that's what we were talking about, that with this navigator, to make everything more mainstream, because sometimes even the principals or vice principals, they don't know that we're out there, or they see a counselor and they're like,
Yeah.
hi, I'm here, and they're like,
For what? Yeah.
because sometimes those relationships are just with the special education department, or so I think this new position is gonna be helping us
Connect
out, like,
those
to
dots.
connect those dots, or when somebody doesn't know, it's
You
gonna
know,
help.
Miss Sandia, forever, I've been so, and it's just, I have to say it, because it's so frustrating. Both districts do such a great job of training kids with disabilities for the workforce. They do such a great, and I've seen it, I've lived it. They're ready to go, and they graduate, and then many times there's no job.
Jobs, yeah.
And why?
Well,
They
because
have skills, they're ready to go, and then it's like, there's nothing.
I'm gonna tell you why, man. Because the employer does not see the individual, he sees the disability.
That's what we have to work on, and that's why I think getting the word out for the walk that you're going to do is so important, and all of these other things we're doing with public service announcement that Dr. Gonzalez is working on. All of those little pieces together, all of the sensitivity training that you do together, I mean, it's gotta make a difference.
It's like
got
this
to.
SEAL program, the Summer Earn and Learn program. So
Yes.
this past year, we had 48 individuals. And of course, Dr. Gonzalez,
Great.
we thank you so much, because you've always been an advocate. And we did get a phone call, as my understanding, from the city to open up more,
Super.
because it's you are a huge employer. So not only will we be working with the health department, but we want to expand.
Great.
We're always in front of employers, we're always advocating for individuals with special needs, because they are just as capable, if not more,
Absolutely,
than
not more.
anybody else. So, and it's back to, the discussion we had, it's about retraining them,
Yes.
it's about doing the sensitivity training,
Yes.
because the minute that they see, oh God, there's an individual with special needs, what's this gonna cost if there's an accident? Well, we're all susceptible to that.
That's right.
So we just gotta go back and educate those employers,
Agreed.
and that's what we do. We're out there making sure that employers understand that we need to be a more inclusive community,
Agreed.
period.
Agreed. Agreed.
And we have to also start changing their set of mind of seeing the individual, not as seeing the person.
Not
Don't
the
see the
disability.
disability.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better. And is that the last announcement? Do we have any more?
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez.
Thank you.
But again, it goes back to the idea about, when discussing this, it goes back to the sensitivity and focusing that we need to train our population, our community to look at what the contributions that that person can provide, as opposed to just focusing on the disability and the need. And the communities do a better job than others, and so I think that Laredo's on its way. But again, we still need to train a lot of specific areas and organizations.
Do
Thank
you
you.
want to read the letter? Since it's your own.
Dr. Gonzalez as efficient as he is. I really went to his office and worked on this letter and drafted it and put it together and spell checked it and the whole
Everything.
thing. Let me read this to you all. It says August 14th. To the Honorable Pete Sines, Mayor of Laredo City of Laredo, dear Mayor Sines, we are appreciative of all the support the City Council has given the BRC and especially support on assuring people with disabilities have the same opportunities as all persons. With that in mind, we wanted to again express our concern and disappointment with the new fees established by Metro, in particular the LIF fees. We fully understand the fees must be raised for maintenance and growth of public transportation, but the LIF serves a special transportation purpose for those medically in need and those with disabilities. We depend on it for travel, to medical visits, and for our daily trips to social services that we need to go to, including attending the BRC meetings. Furthermore, many are on fixed incomes that use this service, and now it will be a hardship. We urge to reconsider the past raise and seek other venues of funding to keep the cost down for PWD, such as Section 3006B of the FAST Act, and or offer other alternatives such as discounts for persons with disabilities. Low-income persons and persons with disabilities, let us know if you want to discuss this matter further. We are willing to meet with the City Council and the Metro Mayor, as well as send you links and information to access other resources such as those mentioned above. Now that you are in the budget process, we urge you reconsider the past raise in fees for Lyft in particular. We appreciate your support on this and hope to hear from you soon.
That's great.
Okay with that?
Now, let Mr. Ruiz, if he can, we'll pick you a copy, if you can take the copy to the mayor.
Yeah, I give it to him this afternoon.
Thank you. Any other announcements? No? If not, do I have a motion to
And then,
Adjourn?
adjourn.
Second.
thank you all?
No, I don't second it.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't second it. I second it.